Hi, friends, and welcome to Self Meets Soul, a podcast where we discuss how to discover what sets your soul on fire and modern ways to integrate spirituality into your daily life. Happy February! My name is Juliana, and today I'm here to talk to you about practices for self love. So, February can be a kind of love or hate time for some people, kind of like the holidays, honestly, because of Valentine's Day. Now, how we see Valentine's Day just like portrayed in social media and stuff like that and movies is as a holiday to be celebrated when you have a significant other. And obviously, that is not the case for everybody. So that can be kind of triggering for some people. There's also the whole Galentine's thing, which I'm a lover of Galentine's, of course, but even again, for some people, they may not have a group of girlfriends that, kind of celebrates like that or close enough friends that they do that with. So I'm here to kind of help shift that perspective of Valentine's Day as something that's only to be celebrated and for you to like if you have other people that you can express that love to, and turn that inwards and use it as a way to practice self-love for this entire month. Obviously, we want to practice self-love all the time, but this is a good time to make it a focus. Now, in this episode, I'm going to break up these self-love practices into ways that you can nourish your body, nourish your soul, and treat your mind with kindness. And all of these are ways that you can practice self-love. So first, looking at ways to nourish your body, diet is super important. You've heard that saying, you are what you eat. And that's simply because if you are not nourishing your body or paying attention to it and giving it that love that it needs, you are not able to do anything else. You can't give love to other people. You'll have no energy to do the tasks that you have to do. Work will become difficult, all of that. So really starting at the base with your body. Now, dietary preferences, the way that you eat, it looks different for everyone. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. If you want to know more specifics about healthy eating and dietitian type related stuff, then definitely make sure you listen to the episode that I recorded with Emily Orvis, and she is a registered dietitian, and we go over all of that. That was about last August. But again, of course, there are things that we know about diet. We know that if you choose to fuel yourself with, only one type of food, like a lot of carbs or a lot of meat or whatever, a lot of sugar, that your body will respond over time in a way that you don't want it to. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a sweet treat. In fact, your girl kind of has a problem with the sweet treats right now and feeling like I have to have one after dinner every night. But we're working on that, kind of. Anyways, besides that, obviously, of course, definitely it's okay to eat things like food is fun. You should be eating things that bring you enjoyment. But on top of that, you should also be eating foods that are good for you so that you're making sure you're nourishing your body. Having a balanced diet from all the different food groups, that's very important as well. For me, I'm vegan. I love being vegan. I've been it since 2018, and I honestly don't ever see myself not being vegan, just because going vegan was what kind of forced me when I was in college to eat better, because I was just eating a lot of lean cuisines, so frozen meals, and a lot of Taco Bell. Still love my Taco Bell, but I'm not eating it nearly as much as I was, thank God. I don't think that would do me very well in my 30s, but veganism really forced me to look at what I was eating, because now I had to pay attention to everything that I was eating, because I'm not supposed to be eating animal products. So that kind of helped me for the better and inspired me to cook more at home. And I got a vegan recipe book, and I love this guy named Conscious Chris on Instagram and TikTok, because he does lazy Trader Joe's meals and he's all vegan, and it's just perfect for me because I be a lazy cook, But obviously veganism or vegetarianism or all meat diet, I'm sure that has a name. I don't know it though. I guess just being a straight carnivore. I don't know. Obviously, these different things don't work well for everyone. So, whatever a balanced diet looks like to you, that is something that you want to make sure you stay consistent with in a way that you show your body that you are loving it and you are nourishing it and that you care about your health. Another way to nourish your body, and this is going to be really simple, and you're probably thinking, why are you even including this? But drinking water. Now, when I tell you guys, I just did not care about water. And the reason wasn't because I'm drinking all this other stuff. Like, yes, I'm drinking coffee and chai or whatever in the morning and matchas, but I don't drink soda. I sometimes would have some apple juice, alcohol on the weekends, but other than that, like throughout the day, I just wasn't thirsty. And in my head, I wasn't thirsty. To the point where when I moved to Arizona, my dad was like, you have to drink more water when you move there. Like, you can't just be not drinking water. And obviously that makes sense. I got my refillable water bottle, all that. I was set to go. But I just am not thirsty like that. I just have friends who drink water so easily and they're just like pounding that stuff back. And for me, it's a process. So literally, one of my habits that I'm tracking on my habits app is to drink water every day, specifically 55 ounces, because I did some research and I talked to my 2 dietitian friends, and to stay hydrated or make sure that you're keeping up with your hydration, you should drink about half your body weight in ounces. So if you are 100 pounds or whatever, then you're supposed to drink 50 ounces of water every day. For some, that's easy. For me, that's really difficult. I'm filling my Stanley up twice, so I'm getting 60 ounces a day. And it's like, I haven't even gone through 30 ounces yet, and it's 130. So I'm literally going to be like pounding this back. But there are obvious benefits to it. Your body responds when you show these forms of self-love to it. I was getting headaches all the time, not to get too detailed, but like going pee, maybe not all the time. It looked exactly like it should. You know what I'm saying there. And yeah, like my skin's already dry because I live in the desert. So drinking water and staying hydrated got rid of the headaches, made sure everything was normal in other facets of my body. And of course, we can't talk about showing self-love to your body without talking about exercise. Exercise is so crucial, and if you are someone who has not made regular exercise a priority, like, I get you. I have always been someone who's fallen off the horse. I would go to the gym every now and again in college, literally because my best friend Taylor would go, and then she would kind of be like my personal trainer in a way and tell me what to do. But, I didn't go with her every time she went. So I would fall off, or maybe I was really into the gym for like 2 months and then it would not see me for a year. And it wasn't until my friend Bella took me to my first yoga class. Well, not my first. I had done yoga before, and because I remember I did it in Dana Point on this hill overlooking the beach. So it's like beautiful, but I remember thinking, what the heck? I thought this was supposed to be easy. And I basically thought yoga was just Shavasana the whole time. But yeah, so learned that the hard way, and then I never did it again. But then in college, I started going regularly with my friend Bella, and I really fell in love with it. And it became something that I did literally every day, like all summer. My bosses at work were like in shock. They were like, you've literally gone every day, and it's been like over a month. And I just loved it. So getting into exercise, I've also talked about this a little bit in the episode with Deanette Stevens that I did kind of at the end of last year. The way to get into it is also by finding an exercise or a fitness routine that you like, something that suits you. If you are not a Orange Theory girl, not me, I hate that stuff. I am not. If you go to Orange Theory, like you are going to get drafted. Like when a mandatory draft ever comes, like you are going to be the first one, just so you know. But find the exercise that's right for you. It was yoga for me, so that was literally all I was doing for maybe like 2 years. And then I started wanting to be a little stronger. So, and I knew that being stronger would help me in my yoga practice. So then I started weightlifting at the gym, doing some cardio because I was like, hey, I'm 24 and I'm huffing and puffing going up 3 flights of stairs. Maybe you should look into that. And then getting ClassPass, and this is not sponsored, although honestly they should be sponsoring me because the way I put so many people on ClassPass, but using that then to not only then try different yoga studios once I was ready to branch out, but then try different kinds of exercise. And now I am a Pilates girly, a bar girly, a yoga instructor, a gym girly. Like, I have my routine. And sometimes I even spice it up and go to like this HIIT weightlifting class here in Phoenix. So finding exercise that's right for you and making it a priority. So making it a priority means making it a part of your schedule and not veering from it. Obviously, life happens. Things are going to, come up, and maybe you might not be able to work out that day or take a class, or even honestly, you wake up and you're like, I cannot go to the gym today. I just can't. I'm so exhausted. I didn't sleep well. My Aura Ring really does help me with that. Like, I get my scores every morning and a readiness score that tells me kind of like how I've recovered from the day before. And that also helps give me an idea of where my body's at and what it might be capable of that day. Of course, not turning that into a habit so that it then becomes an excuse, but yes, allowing yourself for rest days. So that even means scheduling rest days into your week and honoring that and not pushing your body. Meeting your body where it's at with a healthy amount, a healthy dose of challenge is the perfect way to practice self-love. You can also practice self-love by nourishing your soul, so your inwardness. And that looks different for everyone. Again, one way that I think is really great and also is a good way to, not challenge the mind, but reading. Obviously, reading is good for the brain. It's good for the mind. And self-improvement books specifically, whether they're spirituality based or not, those are a great way to nourish your soul because they allow you to pause and think about what you're reading and kind of analyze yourself. Right now, I'm reading this book about spiritual minimalism, and I'll put that in the show notes below. I'm only halfway through, but it is really good so far. And it's basically just, how to practice ways to live more simply, not in like a traditional minimalist sense with like, oh, get rid of all your stuff, but in a soul type of sense. And it makes me really think about how I'm reacting to my everyday situations, how I'm choosing to spend my time every day. And those are ways that you are showing self-love because you are basically admitting to yourself, I am perfect just as I am, but there are always ways for me to improve and become an even higher version of myself. And if you feel like you don't have enough time to sit down and read a book, audiobooks are super popular and they are great. Like, they're a great way to just indulge in this content without actually having to stop whatever you're doing. So I love audiobooks on my commute sometimes, or especially on an airplane. And I think I literally finished like an entire audiobook on my trip to California and back. And it's a great way to still get that benefit. Another way to nourish your soul is to have hobbies that involve doing what you love and what calls you, or like I like to say in this podcast, what sets your soul on fire. This doesn't need to be anything convoluted and life-changing. It doesn't need to be just this kind of grandiose thing that you do for other people. This is something that you are doing solely for you. And, if other people get the benefit of that, then that's awesome. But I'm just thinking of all the ways my own friends do this. I have a friend who loves building Legos. Like, gonna be me. It's an expensive hobby, but she loves that. It brings her peace. Me and my friend Morgan, almost weekly, we have a coloring date, we get takeout and we have our coloring books and our markers and a sweet tree and we love coloring and it brings the sense of peace to us, right? Not anything big that we're doing here, just something that we're doing for us that nourishes our soul, that makes us feel calm and proud of what we're doing. But then, on the opposite end, I also have a friend who has a blog, and I have a friend who has a small business selling like notebooks and posters. And even just this week, a yoga student that I used to have just posted that she just started her own body care line with her cousin. Like, that's so cool. When I see people doing things like this, it shows me that they have made their self-love practice very important to them and a priority, because it takes a lot of guts sometimes to do those things, especially if nourishing your soul means putting something out there for others. That takes so much bravery, but you will know when something is meant for you and when it's nourishing your soul when you cannot ignore the call to do it. And now we can't talk about self-love without talking about your own mind. And what I mean by that is treating your mind with kindness. I've said this before on this podcast, but our hardest critics are ourselves. Sure, other people can, beat us down and say stuff to us, but a lot of the time our inner thoughts can skew towards the negative. And we're just so harsh on ourselves when we're not even that harsh on other people. So sometimes you just have to ask yourself, I would never talk to someone else this way. Why is it okay to think this about myself and talk this way about myself? And I am guilty of this as well sometimes. So a way that I try to practice treating my mind with kindness and showing myself that self-love is through the RAIN method. So I read about this method in a book by Brach. I may be saying her last name wrong, but it's a way to acknowledge your emotions and do something about it. So sometimes we tend to experience these emotions, label it as bad, oh, I shouldn't feel that way, or I don't want to feel this way, and then we just leave it there, and it doesn't go away. Sure, you might think it does, but it really stays with you. And as we know, when we don't truly acknowledge how we're feeling or what's bothering us, it will just build up until it explodes and you have a mentee B, which I just learned is a way to say like a mental breakdown, or until you explode on someone else. So RAIN method, like raining, stands for R is for recognize, A is for allow, I is for investigate, and N is for nurture. So recognizing what the emotion is that you are experiencing, allowing yourself to experience that, so not placing any judgment on it, investigating why it is that you are experiencing this, and then nurturing yourself so that you can come back down to like a state of calm, of peace, or, just even homeostasis. So let me give you an example of what this might look like. I'll give you a scenario that I think most people, I'm not going to say everyone, and if you're not one of these people, then lucky you, but most people have dealt with before. So let's say the situation is that you see that your ex is in a new relationship. Okay, and maybe you and the ex broke up like a year ago, more, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter the timeline, but you see it on social media or something and you like kind of start to spiral. So before you do anything rash, before you go on a whole tangent, you call your girlfriends, you are like, oh my God, did you see this? Before you block that person, before you do any of that. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do those things. Maybe it is for you, like protect your peace, but practice responding instead of reacting. Okay? And that has been my thing, okay, that I've been working on for a good while, and it's going to take some time, but responding instead of reacting, using the RAIN method. R, recognize, sit with yourself and recognize, what are the emotions that I'm experiencing right now from this situation. I may be experiencing pain. Like, it's painful to see someone move on, regardless of whether or not you are over them or whatever the situation is. It can still be painful, right? You might feel feelings of jealousy. You may feel a sense of loss. You may even feel anger right now, okay? So recognize all of the emotions that are coming up for you. Allow those emotions to be present. This is what's hard. If you are blessed enough to be able to quickly identify your emotions, great. You are on the perfect path. But allowing yourself to feel that is where a lot of people get stuck. Immediately, like I said, we're our harshest critic. You start placing judgment on yourself. Oh my God, I don't even know why I'm getting so upset about this. We broke up a year ago. Oh my gosh, like, I don't even know why I'm jealous. I have a significant other now myself, like, whatever it may be. Instead of judging these emotions, allow them to be. Nurture your mind, your body, your soul. Show yourself that you love yourself by allowing your body and your brain to communicate what it's trying to communicate to you. I investigate. Why am I feeling these emotions? Why am I angry right now? Oh, maybe I guess I'm angry because in my head, it hasn't really been that long since we've broken up. I feel like, how could they move on so quickly? Okay, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling a sense of loss right now for this relationship, because to me, when I see them with someone else, that means it's truly over. So investigating why it is that you're feeling these emotions, allowing them to be there, and then asking yourself, why might this be coming up? If you're feeling jealousy, why am I jealous? I don't know, based off just what I'm seeing on social media, it looks like they're so in love, and I don't feel that type of connection with the person I'm with right now, or I'm not in a relationship yet. Sometimes when you do these investigative things with your feelings, sometimes it kind of causes you to be a little bit real with yourself, right? And that's okay. Nurture. You've recognized the emotion. You've allowed it to be there. You investigated why it's coming up. So now, nurture yourself. Love yourself. A good way to do this is through affirmations. I am safe. It is okay for me to feel this way. I am loved by many. I am grateful that my body let me know what are some ways I can heal even more from this relationship or whatever the situation is. You can take nurturing yourself one step further, even by, giving yourself a hug, or just like some physical contact with yourself. Even like, every day I put on lotion, like maybe making that a more conscious act. Drinking something warm so that you feel it like warm your insides. However you like to nurture yourself. And of course, there are a billion ways that I could talk more about practicing self-love, but really the only person who can truly know what works for you and how to show that to yourself is you. When you are living in just a totally embodied way, when you are showing up for yourself every day, you notice how these things feel. Your body will respond to it. Your soul will just feel just better and brighter and lit up from it. And your thoughts that you're experiencing will start to shift into kinder ones. Well, friends, that's all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review or to share it with somebody in your life. You never know who might resonate with it. Chat with you later.